Okay, hey, how you guys doing? This is John March from Guitar Talk with John and Jamie, and we're here at the 2012 LA Amp and Custom Guitar Show with Reality Web Video. I'm really happy, I mean this with all sincerity, I'm really happy to be sitting here. Colby Amplification, Mitch Colby, this is one of the standouts at the show. Everybody's talking about it, big buzz. New amp maker in the scene, but he's making something that everybody really seems to be responding to. Boutique amp, but it's just got that beautiful thing that everybody likes, that intangible thing that everybody likes. You know what I'm saying? Intangible.
Well, that has to do with the feel, I think.
Like Ray's Pizza.
Ray's Pizza. Love Ray's Pizza, but I also like John's Pizza.
Oh, yeah, and
Mimi's. Thin crust.
Mimi's uptown.
No, I haven't been there.
You haven't been? It's 84th and Lexington.
Oh, I gotta go there.
Okay.
That sounds good.
New Yorkers, we get to do this, okay? So, but talking you now, you come from a building background, but not from your own boutique amp, right? You were working.
Well, I come from a background in the music business.
Okay.
I worked for Korg USA for 32 years,
okay,
and the predecessor, which was Unicord.
Okay.
And we were the distributor of Marshall.
Okay.
And so for that whole time, I was involved with Marshall amps in different capacities as the distributor. And also Korg acquired Vox in 1992 and helped bring that back as a company.
Okay.
And so that's my background is more in product development, not as development of the insides of the amp. But I did that as a hobby for many years. That was my thing since being a kid, working on my own amps, building my own amps.
You're a player.
And I'm a player, yes.
Right, I can tell that. Yeah, definitely. You have good touch and you really know what you're looking for. So, I mean, the design is unique and the voicing, the way you're approaching it is really unique. But talk to me about the process that led you to the idea that you wanted to build your own amp.
Well, it's a number of things. I had left Korg about 2 years ago, and was, deciding I'm a guy that I can't sit still very long.
Okay.
So there were a couple of things I was doing, and then while I was doing those other things, I just said, hey, I always wanted to build an amp, and I have an idea of what I'd like to do. Maybe now's the time to do it. If I don't do it now, I'll never do it.
Right.
So I went and visited my friend Jim Weeder and said to him what my idea was, and he had the same exact idea for an amp that he wanted. He's very meticulous about his tone, so I figured he'd be a great guy to work with, and plus he's a great guy.
Okay.
So we worked together, and we had the concept, and we worked for about 1.5 years, and this is the result of that.
So now I just want to make sure I have a clear sense of what it was, because I played it yesterday and was really, really impressed, and the touch sensitivity was great, but it was a Fender sort of style amplifier that has multiple gain stages, 2 gain stages and a boost. And talk to me about the way you're voicing the amp. What's important?
Well,
what's important to you?
Well, what was important was in the concept was I wanted 2 independent channels, but each channel had to have its own EQ section, treble, mid, and bass, because normally a lot of the amps in this category share EQ between 2 different sounds.
Right, and then when you change gain stages,
there's always a compromise.
Right.
And so I figured I don't want to do that. So once I put some things down on paper and ideas on what controls should be there, switches, and but the whole idea of the sound was, like you said, a big, beautiful Fender-y American kind of clean sound, and then a similarly voiced second channel
where the gain is a higher
where the gain can be higher. It also can be clean because we have 2 gain controls. One's called volume, one's gain. In different parts of the circuit. Okay. But you can start clean. You can just add a little bit of gas or hair to it, to get a little bit of overdrive, and then, like you said, with the 2 boosts, you can get it into a higher gain mode.
Right. What was astounding to me when you went into the higher gains was that the voicing of the amp usually changes significantly in color, but what I felt was that the playing feel was the same, but that the gain was just rounding out and giving me more to work with. And it was just an amazing thing because I haven't actually seen that in quite a while, where you're actually able to keep the voice without changing the voice, but still move gain up and move gain up. And I was really impressed by that.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Now, I have a real question. You chose to go non-reverb, and what was the reasoning on that?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is I wanted to put a tube effects loop in.
Okay.
And I also wanted to get it a certain size.
Ah.
And there's a third reason, and one is I love spring reverb, but the quality of the springs today is an issue. Okay. They're not built the way they used to. When you get them in, they vary a lot. And I know a lot of manufacturers that use them, but they don't like using them.
I'm hearing MOD is very popular right now with a lot of the boutique guys.
Right. Oh, MOD. Is it? Okay, yeah, so that might be an option.
MOD is very popular, and I'm consistently hearing about it a lot. But I understand, and I listened with you have the digital reverb in the loop, and it actually was a very organic sound.
Well, there's so many good little reverb pedals today that you can use in the loop, so it's perfect, and you don't get the negatives of having the spring. Plus, just reliability. lasting.
Yeah, I can see from your construction that you're actually really interested in roadworthy, really solid construction. Talk to me about the cabinet and the speaker.
Okay, I'm using Celestion G1265.
Okay.
The amp was voiced with it. We're using one in this cabinet and two in that one over there, and one in the combo. And the cabinet itself, we're using birch because we preferred the sound of the birch.
Okay.
On the
Open
112. Back? It's open back. It's got an ovalish type of hole in the back, which is voiced to work with the cabinet.
Okay.
And then on the 212, we decided we wanted it to be compact, so we have the speakers offset, and we wanted it to be light, so we used pine on the outside, and on the baffle we're using birch.
Nice.
So the combination works really well, and it's really light.
So you know what? I mean, I'm really hearing the resonance on the way the design is coming together. The birch is really an amazing. Like usually with a Fender amp, you get a very laser beam sort of focused effect when you're sitting in front of the amp, and I don't actually like to sit in front of my Fenders when I'm playing. And in your amp, I'm actually sitting in front of it and getting the warmth, and it's not like that laser sort of razor blade effect in the ear. How are you doing? Is it the birch, or is it the way you're tuning the cabinet?
It's probably a combination of both, and the way we tune the amplifier.
Okay.
It's all three. Everything affects
everything. Were you conscious
everything.
of that? Were you thinking about that?
Absolutely, because we spent countless hours and days in Jim's studio voicing this thing, and he was in front of it, I'm here, and we.
I mean, like that thing with Fender amps is like, I like to be 10 to 15 feet to the left or the right of my cabinet, or the Roy Buchanan thing where you actually turn the amp around and face the back of the stage is my preference, because you can. It's a more natural playing feel than that razor blade sort of effect on the Fender thing. So I'm really impressed. So so again, everybody's talking really about your amp. This is one of the standouts at the LA Amp Show. Is there anything that you'd like people to know specifically? I mean, anything special about what you're doing that you'd like people to know?
Well, on a special, all I can say is we've launched the product here at the show. I put up the Facebook page and the website last week.
Okay, so people should go to the Facebook page.
People should go to both. And I just want to say the reaction at the show was better than we could have possibly expected. It's really good. I have a lot of friends out here. A lot of great players came in, and it's been really rewarding.
So colbyamps.com.
Right.
Okay, colbyamps.com. Thanks so much for being here with us at the LA Amp Show. We really appreciate it a lot.
My pleasure.
We're expecting you to sign up for the podcast, for the radio show, John and Jamie, Guitar Talk with John and Jamie, so we can get you guys on the show. We want you to come and talk on the radio show.
Sounds great.
Okay?
Excellent.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for making a great amp.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for listening.